Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fisherman's Headquarters, and today is Tuesday, November 16th. I'm up here on the north end of LBI, checking out the beach with you guys. Here to share an updated fishing report for the Long Beach Island area. Last couple days have offered some very good fishing, but also some very windy conditions. In my book, there's the saying that goes way back, west is best, and definitely played out for us once again in the recent days. Westerly winds kind of kicked up here, gave us a strong blustery conditions, kind of flattened out the ocean. There was some swell, but definitely laid it out. Fishing along the beachfront, you'll see that I've got Lake Atlantic conditions behind me now. Looks like tomorrow's gonna be flat as a pancake as well. Looks like the wind's gonna drop out tonight, and looks like we'll have a beautiful morning ahead of us tomorrow. Today was definitely a slower one for me. I had a good about 45 minutes to an hour bite this morning at first light, fishing some lures. It was definitely a good time, but it ended kind of quick when that tide kind of petered out. That was kind of the end of it, and I decided to take a roaming look around, try to get around, looked up all the way to Manahawkin, drove from Barnegat Lake to Manahawkin along the beachfront. Found an abundance of bait, that would be bunker. Also found an abundance of dogfish. And I did not find an abundance of striped bass. So, like I mentioned, had a pretty good bite early, and then it kind of went to crap. I talked to a number of friends that went up the beach, went all around, fishing live baits, doing the trolling thing, fishing the inlet, fishing along the beachfront, fishing the bay, and for the most part, everybody had a pretty slow day. There was some fish caught in the inlet. Would definitely suggest if you guys are looking to get out and do some fishing, fish the inlet. Tog fishing is really good. There's some striped bass. Those two species are kind of the primaries right now, as we are in the middle part of November. We've got the full moon coming up, I believe the 19th, which is Friday. Today is the 16th, here Tuesday. So that's a few days away. Definitely safe to say we saw a pretty good wave, whether that's the first wave or the second wave of the fall run for our Central Jersey area. There's some people out there saying that we've got water in the upper 50s. I see some people saying 59, 56. Off the ocean. We haven't seen that in probably 2 weeks. I've also heard some people mentioning that we've got water in the 58, 59, 60 degree water in the bay side. We also haven't seen that in 2 weeks. So those numbers are way off. Don't fall for any of those tricks. The water is chilly. It's in the mid 50s. You're gonna have 54 to 56 degrees. You might even have some 52 degree water here once you get these colder nights, and possibly even colder up the creeks into the shallow reaches of the bay, in the deeper parts of the bay as well. Where I'm fishing, mostly in the Barnegat Inlet, Barnegat main thoroughfares, and along the beachfront, say a few miles up and a few miles down, both today, yesterday, and recent days, I had those mid 50 degree ranges, like I mentioned, 54, 54 and a half, 55 today. Also had a little bit of 56 degree water at times. I mentioned in a previous report, the incoming and outgoing tide are very similar. Different parts of the year, sometimes you'll have a 10 degree swing, sometimes even more. That is not the case right now. It is very close, the bay and ocean temps. I think you get a couple more colder nights. We keep getting these cold fronts coming through with the blustery westerlies. We'll definitely see that bay temperature plummeting. Before that happens, though, there is some quality fishing taking place in the Barnegat Bay. If you haven't followed along, haven't seen what's going down, we've got a quality striped bass run in the Barnegat Bay, and we have had, I would say, a good, let's say probably 2 weeks of it. For the most part of November, the bay has been good. When I mention the bay, that's the sod banks, that's the main channels, the main thoroughfares, Oyster Creek Channel, Double Creek Channel. There's even some anglers fishing the deeper bays, fishing the bridges, fishing the sod banks, the islands. There's fish here. It's good to see. People fishing the docks and bulkheads are getting them, bridges and all. Fish the shads, fish bucktails, some small swimming plugs. You'll definitely get into some fish and you'll have some fun. Nothing wrong with fishing some soft baits. The bucktails are definitely something that I kind of hold near and dear to my heart. I always fish a bucktail first and last in a session. They always do me right. Don't be afraid to put a little twister tail on there, a little maybe a zoom fluke on there. Also fish a lot of jig strips. but a good classic curly tail grub will tip off a bucktail very nice. Some of those soft baits I just mentioned, Zoom flukes, maybe a finesse, tsunami shads, they definitely are catching fish. They catch fish season in, season out. Stuart Stafford Tyler just got a beautiful fish off the docks the other night, fishing the evening session after work. Got a keeper fish on a Zoom. I believe it was a pink, bubblegum pink Zoom fluke, but I could be wrong there, but I know he definitely told me he got on a Zoom soft bait. There's still some squid around, there's still some bunkers in the bay. I saw some swimming by my boat just yesterday. And that westerly, I think it blew most of the bait out, but that's still up for debate. I think we might see a couple more, say a week, probably a little less, maybe a week or so, maybe up to this moon. We'll have some good fish in the bay, but it'll be interesting to see what this full moon has. This next week will definitely be a telltale sign of seeing what's going on for the rest of this fall season. If you haven't got out and got into some fishing, I'd have to say now is a pretty good time. Now is kind of better than never. Definitely missed out on some quality fishing the past few days, the past week or so. Some real big fish. Definitely stoked to say got into some good quality fishing. I can share that there are striped bass stretched up along the beach. Anglers trolling along Island Beach State Park are catching some good quality fish. Today it was definitely slow to nil, but there are a couple reports. Mikey Villanova, No Limit, reported to me he dropped a fish on a spoon. He also picked up a fish on a spoon that was earlier today. Also heard some guys on the radio picking some fish up on umbrella rigs that were rigged up with tubes, so that's more of a sand eel imitation. I mentioned I saw some sand eels a few days back, maybe it was a week or so back. Just recently saw a lot of, I'd say an abundance of bay anchovies. That was yesterday, and also some smaller lollipop-sized bunker. Not baby bunker, call them more juvenile bunker, say in the 6-inch range. Yesterday morning I had an awesome day. It was with Bob Bruns and his brother. I actually canceled on them twice due to weather. Almost canceled on them yesterday too, but we talked it over and said, hey look, wind's gonna be howling, but let's do it. It's the third day of the west wind. Another theory that I always stick by, keep it near and dear to my heart, third day of the west wind always produces. So I said, hey, let's go. If we fish for an hour and it's unfishable, we can always come in and we'll call it quits there. But we went out and we had awesome fishing. It was phenomenal. We were snagging, dropping, snagging and rehooking and live lining. Also fishing bucktails. Had a beautiful fish, well over 40 pounds on the 2-ounce Andrus bucktail jetty caster, tipped off with a jig strip. Fishing that in the white water right along Island Beach State Park. There's some wave action. Only place we could kind of get some shelter from the wind was tucking into the beach. So we ran up the beach a little bit, found some bait in there. It was getting kind of slapped around by some striped bass, which looked like explosions going off because it was so windy, and started fishing some bucktails, tossing them up in the white water, bringing them off the bar, and fortunately we got a good one. Got a couple fish, got a couple smaller ones and a couple bigger ones. It was good fun. It was windy. It was definitely sloppy conditions, blustery to say the least, but it was fun. Got in some fish and got Bob and his brother on some good quality fun. With that being said, there are fish being caught off the LBI surf. I think it's dwindled down a bit. There's sort of a little bit of a lull here. But a shop regular, Merle Van Leeren, he stops in the shop all the time throughout the season. Great customer over the years. Shout out to him. He waded nice fishing. He's on the board for Long Beach Island Surf Fishing Classic, which is still going on. It's going to be happening right into the early part of December. I believe his fish was 37 inches plus, just under the 38-inch maximum size. So he got a maximum kind of keeper there. It's good to see that on the board. I believe he got that on bunker, exactly where I'm not sure. Last report I was reporting some mid-island beach fish that were caught on bunker. I heard 2 reports yesterday from some anglers that were fishing, got covered up in dogfish. Mentioned earlier here, there was abundance of dogfish. As that water gets to the mid-50-degree range, that's normally what happens after Halloween. Normally Halloween in November, we get covered up in doggies, and that's definitely the case. Today I had them up on top. They were actually dogfish finning on top water, eating bunker. Something you don't see very often, but there's so many of them around. Sad to see, but hopefully these net boats put some twine on them and we'll say reduce them a little bit, because they are definitely abundant. You got to kind of fight through them. There's nothing wrong with getting up on the beach and chunking some bunker, weeding through some doggies to find a striper or two. If you're looking to get out and go, now's the time. I think we'll see maybe another wave or two. Be interesting to see what happens if we still have that size, or if that size is going to dwindle down. My buddy Jeff on the tight lines, it's Real Innovation Sport Fishing, but he was on his own boat, the tight lines today. He got into some good quality fishing. He had a couple nice fish, fishing bucktails. But as I mentioned, surf reports are definitely few and far between that I've heard personally. Not saying the fish are gone by any stretch of the imagination. We've definitely got a couple more weeks for sure. Thanksgiving is probably the best time to be fishing the surf, not for size, but for quantity. So as this kind of size diminishes and these waves of striped bass migrate through our area, I expect to see a better quantity, but lower quality of fish. We'll kind of see that seesaw kind of tip back, and kind of see what we saw in the earlier part of the fall, which was smaller fish and more of them, and then they kind of dwindled down and saw some bigger fish. We'll kind of see that bounce back over to that. I think you'll start seeing some of the fish that are moving into the bay start making the exit soon. Not yet, but soon, probably on this next moon here, probably next weekend, this upcoming weekend. And for right now, we definitely got a good tog fishing. Tog fishing's on. Get out there. Today I went up to 5 fish, I believe. Yeah, today's the 16th, 5 fish at tog. So get out there, hit those local wrecks and reefs and get on it. Have some fun. Get some magic tail tog jigs, get some live green crabs. If you can find white crabs or fiddlers or some conch and some whelk, some snails, get those soft baits in there, drop them down on the structure, and I think you'll find some tog. I haven't had any phenomenal tog fish reports, but I did see some quality fish reported, some good fish still being caught on the Barnegat Lake jetty. I had a couple photos sent in the last few days of anglers that are getting out there and getting into them, so that's good to see. If you want to get on the fun, head out either on the boats or land-based. Definitely have a number of weeks of tog fishing ahead. And as we approach the Thanksgiving kind of holiday, hopefully you get out, enjoy the sunny weather today. Looks like we have some temperatures kind of coming up here the next couple days. Some southerly wind is going to blow. Tomorrow's beautiful, but then the wind kicks up. It looks like potentially Thursday. But it looks like this weekend we got another westerly. Looks like Friday, stiff westerlies. Saturday and Sunday might diminish a little bit, so we might have a good weekend of fishing. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be out in the water having some fun. Hopefully you are too. Stop by Fisherman's Headquarters and get geared up. Have a great day.